What is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Sports Time Darius Aiden. I am Darius Thompson, that is Aiden Munson, and we welcome you to a brand new episode on a brand new week of Sports Time Darius Aiden. Everybody, make sure to like, subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell for post notifications for every new video of Sports Time Darius Aiden. Aiden, we are we're gonna have some very hidden moments today on this episode. Of course, today, Aiden, we are talking the 2020 World Series. On one side, you have the Los Angeles Dodgers making it to the World Series for the third time in 4 years. Their 21st appearance overall in their franchise. And on the other side, you have the Tampa Bay Rays. Their first World Series appearance since 2008. And they went on to lose to the Philadelphia Phillies. Aiden, in this series, we all know two of the best teams in baseball with the two best records in the entire MLB. So, Aiden, I already have a feeling who you're going to pick in this series based on your little virtual background behind you. So, Aiden, who do you have in this series? Dodgers or Rays?
You know what? I frankly don't. I usually don't go with the hot hand. I usually stick with my guys who I know and who I believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't always use stats like Darius, but I will judge
Wow.
from
Okay.
past. I judge from
Okay.
past
Okay.
events. So I judge from past events to conclude on what player, on what team, and what player I usually pick. I do that in baseball. I do that in football. I do that in basketball. I do that in hockey. I do that in boxing. I do that in every sport I cover. But for once, I'm going to have to ride with the hot hand this time. Listen, I know the Astros didn't have their trademark trash cans when they were playing them the last time, but trash cans or not, the Astros are still a fairly decent team. Obviously, you got Alex Correa and many other people hitting home runs on that amazing team that was the Houston Astros. They defeated the Houston Astros in, I believe, 7 games, right? Series went down to the wire. Guess what? Dodgers series also went down to the wire. Robert Acuna was hitting bombs and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only reason you guys made it out there alive is because Mookie Betts made that last-minute catch. Then your boy Cody Bellinger, Mr. Superman, Mr. Who Says White Man Can't Jump, has thrown out his shoulder, strutting and celebrating in the faces of the Atlanta fan base. So I think you're at a crossroads here. I know it's going to take Cody Bellinger maybe 1, maybe 2 games to get set, get right. And I think if the Rays can get up to a hot start and a good lead, maybe win one, maybe get a 1-2 game lead, I think they can take the series out of the Dodgers' hands. You never know. This is why I'm going with the hot hand this time.
And that is one of the weakest arguments I have that you have ever made. Ever since I've known you, that's one of the weakest arguments, Aiden. There is absolutely, positively no way, Aiden, that I am betting against the Los Angeles Dodgers as long as they have Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, and Clayton Kershaw on their team. Look, Aiden, no way. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. The Dodgers entered into this season as championship favorites, tied with my New York Yankees, of course. They were eliminated by the Rays. And Aiden, I guarantee that the Dodgers will come out as World Series champions. Look, Aiden, if this team stays together, I really, really think that we could be looking at the next dynasty of the MLB.
Let's look at your Yankees.
No, this is not about the Yankees.
In my mind, they had all no. We got to go back. Show you some past evidence, right? Because you're saying this is a weak argument. So what do you do when you get a weak argument? You go back and get some more evidence.
Now, did the Yankees have injuries? Did the Yankees have injuries?
Yeah, but so did the Dodgers. So do the Dodgers. Obviously, Clayton Kershaw.
Wow.
Clayton Kershaw's been having them back spasms. you never know when another one's going to attack. He's had a consistent track record of back injuries, to my knowledge. Okay, you never know when you never know when he might be out. Then you got your boy Cody Bellinger over there strutting in front of the entire Atlanta team. Like, we just won this. Popped his shoulder completely out of socket. Yeah. That'll.
Hey,
Oof.
and that's still not saying about the Braves will win this series. Look,
Now, I
Aiden,
admit Mookie
let me. Can
Betts
I
is an
finish? Can I finish?
amazing,
Can I finish? Can
amazing
I finish?
player.
Can I finish? Look, as I mentioned, if the Dodgers win this series, I think and as long as Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger, Clayton Kershaw, and the rest of those players on the team stay together, we could be looking at the next dynasty of the MLB. I really think if they win this series, if they win this World Series this season, we could be looking at the Dodgers
Mm,
winning multiple
mm,
championships for years to come. And
mm.
look, you have three of the best players in baseball. As I mentioned, Mookie and Cody and Clayton Kershaw. Even as we mentioned, Clayton Kershaw, he
Mm.
has had some playoff woes in the past. But guess what? The Dodgers still have a deep bullpen. They still have a deep pool. They still have a deep bullpen, Aiden.
Yeah, but nobody pitches it like nobody. They don't got a consistent number two guy.
And look, don't get me wrong, the Rays, they've had a phenomenal season, and they were underdogs going into the season and were counting out all season long. They in this shortened 60-game season, they only lost 20 games, and they took down my Yankees and the Astros. But I
Well,
don't.
okay,
But
I
guess
get
what?
you.
But I don't see them taking down my Dodgers. Let me tell you why,
Okay,
Aiden.
okay, okay. Oh, Darius, I'm sorry, I have to cut you off here, right? But we've been calling these teams upcoming dynasties for a while. Let's look at let me give you some examples in the past years. Nationals, not in the playoffs. Red Sox,
They didn't
not
have
in
their
the
best
playoffs.
player.
Astros got bounced
But guess what? Did
hard.
they still make the playoffs? Though did they still make it
They made the
to
playoffs.
the
They made the
L?
playoffs.
See?
And need I remind you, the Astros beat the Dodgers in 2017. Now, I know they didn't have Mookie, but they still had Cody. They still had Clayton. They still couldn't pull it out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that we've been crowning these teams dynasties. And I believe that even if the Dodgers win this series, I don't believe that they're striking up as one of the next dynasties.
What
That
are
I
you
can't
talking
pull the
about?
trigger on.
Who's gonna beat the Dodgers? Who? It's not your Padres. It's not your Padres. Please don't
Oh,
tell me
oh,
you're
oh,
picking them.
oh, oh,
Stop.
oh!
No.
While you're
No.
talking big
No.
game
No.
over there,
Stop. Stop.
we
Stop.
get a number
Stop.
one pitcher. We gonna beat y'all.
Really? I thought y'all did have a number one pitcher.
We do not. We didn't know. We our pitching lineup was run and gun. You get a guy, you switch a guy, you have a
Who's your number
guy.
one pitcher,
We
Aiden?
were
Who's your number one pitcher? Who's your number one pitcher, Aiden? Huh? Who's your
bro.
number
It
one
was
pitcher?
constantly in rotation, is what I'm
Stop. It
saying.
was Mike Clevenger. Oh, but guess what? He got injured. And you said that was the reason why they lost against the Dodgers. Definitely not. Y'all just couldn't win a game. Y'all just could not put up
We
against
out.
Mookie
Okay,
Betts and that
we
Dodgers team.
outscored the Dodgers. The Dodgers just played better defense, and that's what it came down to. We could easily outscore the Dodgers. They just played better defense. They
Uh,
played better defense. I'll give them that. They
Aiden,
played better defense.
Aiden, I'm not a fan of your shoulda, coulda, woulda type of mindset.
And
But
I'm
Aiden,
not a fan of you. And I'm not a fan of you. And I'm not a fan of you just calling whatever we say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh,
yes, it
this
is.
team
Oh,
shoulda, coulda.
if we
Oh,
had a
this
number
team
one
shoulda,
pitcher,
coulda, woulda. Oh, this
if
team shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, I got news for you. The Dodgers shoulda, coulda, woulda won in 2017. The Dodgers shoulda, coulda, woulda won in 2018. The Dodgers shoulda, coulda, woulda won in 2019. They shoulda, coulda won any previous year. But guess what? They didn't, because there's something wrong with the Dodgers. When it comes down to
oh,
that top
okay.
World Series moment, there's always a guy that's going to and crack in the highest moment possible. Whether it's Clayton Kershaw, whether it is Cody Bellinger, whether it is Mookie Betts. Something
No, but
about
no, no,
that
no, no, no,
team
no, 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 no. Stop! I gotta
is
stop you. Right.
not
I
cold.
gotta stop you right there. I gotta stop you right there. Was Mookie Betts a part of the Dodgers team who made the World Series three of the last four seasons? Of those like previous 3 years, was Mookie Betts a Los Angeles Dodger? Yes or no?
No,
Is Mookie
he's
Betts one of
paid
the best players in
like a Red
baseball?
Sox.
Yes or no?
He's paid like one, so I assume he is one.
Oh, Aiden, stop. You know he is. You know he is. Stop, stop. He is one of the, if not the best player in baseball as of right now. Aiden, we could put Mike Trout in the conversation, even though he's not playing for a playoff franchise, can't even make it there. You know, other names in the list, of course, you can go on and on and on. But Aiden, let me tell you why the Dodgers are winning this series. Because when you look at that when you look at the Rays Astros series, the Rays had multiple opportunities to close out that series. I believe, 3 or 4 games to be exact. And guess what? The Astros came on and forced the game 7. Of course, I'm gonna get my Dodgers. I'm gonna get on the Dodgers for going
Yeah,
down 3-1 to the
going for
Atlanta
game
Braves. But guess what? Did
7.
they come back? Yes, they came back. Yes, but guess
And
what?
so did Tampa. And so
Tampa,
did
they did
Tampa.
not come back. They did not come back. The Astros did. And guess what? The Rays almost lost. The Rays almost lost. Guess what?
As did the Dodgers.
Oh,
If
really?
Mookie Betts
Okay,
doesn't if
okay,
Mookie if
okay,
Mookie Betts
okay.
doesn't make that catch, then the Dodgers don't win.
Again,
It's fundamental,
if,
man.
again, if. That's the key word in your sentence. If.
Exactly.
If. Should've, could've, would've. But guess what? The reality is they won, and both teams are in the World Series. But Aiden, look, if the Rays try to if they don't play good quality baseball, they're not going to win against the Dodgers. And that goes for either side. If the Dodgers don't play well, the Rays are going to take advantage. And if the Rays don't play well, the Dodgers are going to take advantage. These are two very, very phenomenal teams with phenomenal players on both sides. But we look at the star power and the talent of this Dodgers team. I don't see the Rays winning this series. Look, of course, the Rays were underdogs. Yes, I believe they're gonna make the World Series next year and for many years to come. Yes, this team stays together. Guess what? Guess what, Aiden? This Tampa Bay Rays team is pretty much the New York Yankees, but at a lesser price. But at a lesser price.
Hmm.
But at a lesser price. You have all the talent in the world, phenomenal bullpen. Guess what? You can make the playoffs most definitely year after year after year after year. Of course, you still have some competition in the American in that league right there, in that conference, whatever you want to call it. There, you still got the Astros, still got the Yankees, right? You still have many teams. But Aiden, I see this Dodgers team in the series. There's absolutely positively no way that I see the Rays taking away the series just because of the fact that when I say that when I say, hey, I know this team could close out a series in, let's say, 4 or 5 games,
Mm.
I can rely on the Tampa Bay Rays. Look, both teams did not have the best games in the postseason. Both teams did not. You go back, as I mentioned, to that Brave series when the Dodgers were down 3-1. That should have never happened. That should have never happened. With all the star power on that, with all that talent on that team, you should have never
It should have
gone
never
down
happened,
three.
but like I said, there's something that's not Cole with the Dodgers. There's something that when they get up into that prime light, that starlight, that
Oh,
light that
okay,
shines
okay.
deep within them, is something that doesn't really work too well for them.
But
Something that
hey,
doesn't really work too well for them.
but
And
hey,
then
guess
there's
what?
injuries. And then there's
Oh,
injuries.
okay,
Like you're
okay.
guaranteed to have an injury a series with the Dodgers. Whether it's Bellinger, whether it's Kershaw. You're getting an injury.
Aiden, look, and I know, look, you look at that Astro series. As I mentioned earlier, that the Rays had many opportunities to close out this series. But guess what? Did that happen? No. It went to 7 games because why? You could not play any defense when those games came down to the wire. Guess what? The pitcher cannot throw a good pitch. Guess what? Carlos Correa walk off home run. Guess what? Game after game, the Braves have multiple opportunities to close out their series. I'm not trying to quote LeBron James here, but not one, right? Not two, like not three, right? Those games, you have many opportunities to close out the series. But guess what? Did the Tampa Bay Rays do it? No, they didn't. They didn't, and that cannot happen against the Dodgers. That cannot happen against the Dodgers. Uh, First off, Aiden, we both need to send our condolences to Atlanta sports fans right now. We need to
Oh
send our
yeah.
condolences to Atlanta sports fans right now. The Braves blew a 3-1 lead to the Dodgers, right? We all know the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, they're 1-5. The Hawks, they're absolutely not doing anything. The only bright spot in that franchise is
Looking up for a
Trey
draft
Young.
pick.
Trey Young, right? They're looking at the draft. Guess what? This has just been a terrible situation for Atlanta sports fans. But now back to this World Series matchup. This series could go either way, Aiden, but I'm still giving the slight edge. I'm giving the edge to the Los Angeles Dodgers. These previous years when the Dodgers were in the playoffs and the championship series against teams and the World Series against the Astros, they didn't have a guy
Mm.
like Mookie Betts. They did not have a guy like Mookie Betts. They did not have a player like Mookie Betts. They did not have the star power like Mookie Betts. Of course, you still had Cody Bellinger, who was an MVP candidate, right? You still have a phenomenal pitcher in Clayton Kershaw. Guess what, Aiden? I am putting some pressure on Clayton Kershaw. He needs to fix his playoff woes. He needs
Mm.
to fix
You know,
that. He needs to fix
you
that.
know what?
He needs to fix that.
I'm feeling a little something in my back. You know, like Clayton Kershaw gonna be feeling in his back by the time he gets to a game three and realizes he can't play.
Aiden, but yeah. Right. Of course, Clayton
Mm.
Kershaw does have some playoff roles. And guess what? As I mentioned earlier, the Dodgers still have a deep bullpen. You got it like Joe Kelly and Bueller, and you still have a deep bullpen who could step up in replacement of Clayton Kershaw if he does not play the injury or any other reason. Look, this Rays team is a phenomenal team. Same thing with the Dodgers. You're playing at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Uh, Dodgers. There is absolutely positively no way why you should not win this series. Absolutely positively no way that you should not win this series. Look, you have had playoff experience, right? You've gone to the World Series without Mookie Betts. Now you bring in a guy like Mookie, and you have had a phenomenal season. Aiden, you know I'm a stat guy. I'm a stat fanatic. When you look at it from every major statistical category on both offense and defense, the Dodgers are probably in the top 10, top 15 in each category.
They can hit. They can hit.
Top 15 in each category, both offense and defense, right? But when you look at the Rays, they need some pivotal hits. They need some pivotal hits to get
It's a
on
well
more
coached.
bases.
It's a well
Yeah.
coached over 500 team. I'll give you that. We don't have big time players. We can't just hand out 12-year, multi-million-dollar deal contracts like they do up in LA, just throwing it everywhere at every guy. We build teams.
All right, but Aiden, we can both agree that both teams are going to be in the World Series for many, many, many years to come. Absolutely agree with that, Aiden. Y'all, this has been our World Series
I have to
preview
say another thing too.
slash prediction.
I
Okay,
have to
go
say
ahead.
another thing too. It's been a year for Tampa Bay sports. You got
Yeah,
Tom Brady. You got the Tampa Bay Lightning winning the Stanley Cup. Now you have the Rays.
and they're going to
Do
lose
your
against the
job.
Dodgers. Yeah, Rays
Do your
losing
job.
against the
Do your
Dodgers.
job. Do your job. Shut the man's mouth. Uh
Yeah,
huh. Shut him.
right.
Shut his mouth. Maybe, possibly just hit a nice home run over Mookie Betts' head. You know that would look great too. That would look great too. As you see Clayton Kershaw scream in agony when he realizes that he'll never be clutch.
Aiden. Look, yeah, of course, it's been a great year for Tampa Bay sports. Of course, you mentioned Tom Brady has gone to he went to the Buccaneers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup, and the Tampa Bay Rays are going to lose to the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series. Again,
Yeah, you talking all that talk.
this has been
Talking
Sports
all that
Now.
talk.
This has been another episode of Sports Now. Darius Aiden. Everybody, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell for post notifications for every video we come to you every weekday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and every other major podcast network. Again, I'm Darius Sabs. I am Darius Sabs, and that's Aiden Musson. Until then, everybody, see you tomorrow. Peace.